What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be... Okay, but please, only...
The woman looks aloof.
A ver, ni siquiera me acuerdo qué cosas tenemos pendientes por hacer. Además de resolver las cosas. Ah, miren, hoy tenemos que hacer eso. Ah, no, ya lo hicimos. Tenemos habilidades pendientes por utilizar. No sé si tengamos libros por leer.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Right. Now let's...
Some areas are inaccessible without your flashlight.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. Look, the skis and rotorblades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit. That's a good question. Reality is ruthless. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Your flashlight slides over. Some of the writing has faded with age. The photo column entire, you see a pinned postcard. This old fireplace, the whole thing resembles Kadran most radio frequencies, it seems. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system, perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations. All they must have had massive air width. These things, whoever decides to, a list of, there's no,
My God. It's as if the schedule.
nothing. Is a thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello? Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer. Looks like it. No one has used it in ages. No.
It's dark. The echo.
What are you doing? Wait, really? Take your head out of the chimney, please. It's not.
It feels safe to know that the lieutenant's got your back. A thick layer of coal dust. A lush layer. Maybe you could. Still, it's good to have this dirt on you. Real. The bear's eyes are still glowing red. What a friendly. The paper still smells.
Ah, aquí hay algo. Algo que no habíamos notado.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache. There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to...
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It's the same type of weapon, yes, a breech loader. An interesting coincidence that we should find something so similar. But I'm afraid our search for the real murder weapon must continue. It means there are firearms, breech loaders, still lying around in Martinez. This would have been good in our case against Ruby for Titus. Too late for that now, but still, might be useful down the road.
He likes this find.
¡Ey, dinero!
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
A ver, vamos a guardar.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
A ver, a lo mejor podemos abrirlo.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here, or something stronger, like Elysium, KR.
Didn't Sona give you a perfect tool for this kind of job?
Equip the multi-tool by going to the Tools tab in your inventory.
¿Cuál es? ¿Es esto?
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it.
Necesitamos aumentar la forma física. Con esto. Y creo que ya, ¿verdad? No tenemos alguna otra. Pero a lo mejor el escalofrío nos ayuda en algo. No creo.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand crank.
A ver, guardamos.
This orange machine is dead. Ice groans and howls under the strain of your giant Kvalsund multi-tool until the lid cracks open. Darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object, intricate and foreign, left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep, a filament memory with the words off-site copy written. You gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding, careful not to damage it.
We should take it back to Miss Lukanen killed as soon as possible. I'm not sure how well unused filaments tolerate room temp.
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament? There's a radio computer upstairs. Only the red cable is plugged into an electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Somewhere in the dark, a giant electrical mammal stirs to life.
Creo que deberíamos ir a la iglesia. Qué horrenda.
Yes, what is it? The swallow, you mean? What about it? Great.
¿Qué tal si vemos la cinta?
Tiles on the cube are still small. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's player magnetic driver. An old
Good morning. Fortress, please repeat. Is this the offset copy? Good. Please repeat the password. No, that's
Maybe it's the second part of the leitmotif you saw on the stained glass window.
good. I've unlocked the offside copy. After ending the call, please press
Ka-ching.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Good, thank you. Please repeat. How can I help you? Thank you. And
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. It sounds like something cracks before the piece of paper starts filling up with pure black ink. Something's broken. Machines aren't supposed to behave like this. The paper is soaked with ink, its monochrome darkness spanning from margin to margin. It's not possible to make out any information.
Odd. Something is obviously broken here.
A single speck of white shines out from the shade. For some reason, the printer decided to spare this one tiny... Looks like gibberish. Better get running again. This must be the information Sorna is looking for. She knows how to make sense of it. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. The filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Hay unas escaleras aquí.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need.
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a net. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide.
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's a non-folk. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Nothing really.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then,
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
she's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is...
It's light here, but dark in the yard.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real? Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
A ver.
Large letters on the front form a title, Wirral. The colourful box is illustrated with bucolic vistas. The cover art also features odd-looking humanoids, some short, some taller, some with pointy ears, others. Text underneath the title in smaller typeface reads, 3rd edition, Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel adds, a sword and sorcery adventure board game with new maps and miniatures. A blurb on the back reads, tired of the tedium and toil of modern life? Escape to Wirral. Leave behind e-solas and nations with their petty squabbles. Discard electricity, magnets, and boring technological widgets. Succumb to a world of high pasternal fantastique. Unleash your imagination and create an adventure of endless possibilities. Discover the terrible secret threatening Wirral. Can your band of adventurers save the world? Exactly. That's the spirit. All you have to do is read an intricate rulebook, study an assortment of maps, unfold the illustrated game board, and start. In no time, you could be romping through grasslands with low-level characters, hunted by Iskala riders, or battling unspeakable monsters in endless dungeons fraught with danger and despair. Conjuring up forceful don't forget heated arguments escalating to physical confrontation with your friends. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit if the dice don't go your way. You pry open the box. Inside you find a folded up map, a small booklet, a 24-sided die, and a little plastic figurine. A reprint of a crude hand-drawn map. The top left corner reads, Lands of Wirral. The map features both small villages and mid-sized towns with odd names. In addition to meadows, forests, hills, it doesn't seem to correspond with anything you've seen thus far. It's not a very helpful map. A quick guide to the magical races of Wirral. Create your own hero, choosing from any of these complete. The options are in order of importance. The Welkin, the Tweog, the humans, the fairy folk, and the pygmies. The Welkin, tall, lithe, and graceful, with long flowing hair and pointy ears. They're known for being powerful magic users, but can also hold the Welkin come with a variety of exciting sub-races. High Welkin, Forest Welkin, Lake Welkin, and Snow Welkin. But if you're not feeling experimental, a grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short, stout, and muscular, and enjoy digging for gold and other precious minerals. They're also well versed in the art of combat, where they prefer to use axes and the Tweog also come in a few different sub-races. Hill Tweog, Shield Tweog, and Dark Tweog. They're just humans. What else is there to tell? They're average in all stats, and jacks of all trades. A very small race of flying people, known for being mischievous, full of trickery. They often lure people into their magical traps. There are no sub-races for the fairies. The least popular of the Wirral races, the Pygmies, are short, rotund, and dim-witted. Pygmies live in small villages made of shoddy wooden dwellings. They spend most of their days tilling the earth and smoking their pipes. There are no sub-races for it's made from some sort of wood and has been decorated with peculiar plant motifs. You don't know much about dice, but this one looks pretty damn fancy. You place the die into your pocket. It's always good to have luck on your side. You see a man in ragged clothes wearing a lopsided hat and wielding some sort of a firearm.
Huh, interesting. A communard. A communard, one of the leftist revolutionaries in the anti-centennial revolution. The figurine is not a part of the real game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the packaging process. I have a feeling the figurines are more there to set the scene than anything else.
You see a man in ragged
Interesting. A communard. It is not. The communards are not a part of the game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the pack. Good luck finding people who'd want to play as communard.
You pick the figurine up by the base to meet your gaze. The little plastic man stares back at you, his face contorted into a disturbing shout. A colorful box with the title, Wirral, in bold letters.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
Qué
It's
bonita
not
voz
really
tiene
full of
la
them.
morra esta.
No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have...
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
En lugar de videos snuff, son radiotransmisiones snuff.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for...
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else? There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wing. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused... And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Really? Anyway. They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house.
They were just the props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
No, es una buena idea.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wiro.
That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind...
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. The usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, in the end they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time. And so it's producing something extraordinary. Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't doing his best, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool. Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Little sparkling embers under the window.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about...
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can code the whirling from the intercom.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Dune commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, fluorography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for a year. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. Alright, but did this person say anything? Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids?
It was too
Era
real
un
to be just a
fantasma.
prank. Either we're dealing with a professional. Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. Why would Slipstream SEA have a 100-year-old recording as their doorbell message? I'm still convinced it was nothing more than...
My money is on electrical anomaly. I've heard of these, especially in an old building like this.
Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Alright, maybe some other die then? What do you mean by cursed? Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? I think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
Not the most original, I know, but sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it. Mr. Smooth Moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
Oh, what are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. I believe these dice are your lucky charm, officer.
She winked back at you. Can you believe it? You truly are Mr. Smooth.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else?
A ver, primero vemos los dados. Están lindos. Quiero comprarle uno nada más porque me cayó bien. Pero antes tenemos que hacer algo con el escalofrío. Vamos a ver qué tal mejoramos con la indumentaria. Miren, este se queda. Camisa se queda. Vamos a ver todo lo demás. A ver cómo andamos de los escalofríos. 5.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. Ah, yes. For the Wiro untethered die is a variation of a standard rope.
Ice, death, loss.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice, and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. It's an icosy tetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with
Loving it. So nifty.
untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Alright, maybe some other die then. No need to rush.
A ver si le compramos uno.
Oh, it's you again.
Podemos venir por
Are you
otro.
looking for a die? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. A star that fell from... Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice? Made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone.
Pieces of lodestone were used as the first magnetic compasses.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours. It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled. Just
Sí,
like
quiero
all
uno de
magnetic
esos.
personality. Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
Didn't we already talk about this? What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
This doesn't make any sense. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away the exhaustion from her face.
Do you know what this is? It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. It wasn't just a jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney? Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about it. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Qué lindo. Esto no sé cómo funciona exactamente. Pero bueno, lo vamos a averiguar.
Yes?
Tengo un espacio aquí. Se me olvidaba. No sé para qué me vaya a servir eso, pero pues Vamos a probarlo. Vamos a tratar de llevarle la información a la señora de la iglesia. Ya me perdí. Ah, no.
Yes, what is it? You told them to leave? Yes, what is
A ver
it?
cómo saludamos.
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. So you do know something about compute? No, I don't. Besides...
No, actually, it is kind of a big...
No! I was actually aiming for the military... Great.
A ver. ¿Cuál es? Este, ¿verdad? ¿No lo podemos equipar? No.
Yes, what is it? You told them to leave? Didn't think the cops in this place had it in them. The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Because it's just right. If you could bring me the offside... Great. Thanks.
The mother of humanism stands... An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some...
I don't see it, Lieutenant W. Freitor. I don't see a person take a shot here and hit something there, in the whirling in rags, to warm his hands before pulling the trigger? Perhaps, but anyone could have made this. The coast is Truthfully, this seems like a very poor choice to take a 1.2 kilometer rifle shot from. Visibility is awful. There's water vapor everywhere. I think we can rule out biddable prime, was it? It's not possible to climb that ladder, and even if it were, why? There's no platform up there to aim from. Those? A smoking assailant who favors Tumutiri to Astra or Joan? Cigarette butts are everywhere. This is a common brand for all men.
Tumutiri was a Revacholian colony on Ilmaran. The Suzerainty's population was mostly Ilmaran Areopagites, up to 97%. The region was known for its tobacco Oh, you do? The butts you saw had a silhouette of a boy wearing a coffee hat, a tobacco picker. This boy is the Tumutiri brand logo. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Juan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, a legendary cigarette from Grad. Tumutiri is favored by older men who like its old-fashioned paper filter tips. Insane there, 1.2 kilometers over the wave-crossed bay, a glowing light on the third floor of the Whirling in Rags. With an old door worn by elements.
From here to the Whirling, I can't see how. The church is in the way.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable. Calling. 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 Still call. Still.
Stop calling me, man. I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work. Testis.
Disconnect tone.
Are we about done with this now?
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and 2 empty No.
A tragedy.
Whoever took Red Astra is the... You see traces. It's no older. It's hard to concentrate in this. You see, a slogan used to intertwine.
Looks like tomorrow never came. Looks like tomorrow never came.
Hello again. No, I'm afraid.
So you haven't seen it?
No, I'm sorry.
He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone. The dome-shaped plastic buoy bobs up and down in the water amidst. You lift the buoy out of the water with. It smells like you would a shot glass.
Well, damn.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing 10 meters from them.
I don't know. Perhaps the ones...
Remember what Trent Hiddleston...
Another likely scenario.
Or maybe...
Yeah. It's very unlikely. To be honest, if a coalition member...
A cold sea wind blows away behind this building. As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again. What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it? Ah? Is that...
You feel like there's something you could say here, if only you really knew what was going on.
Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer. My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. There's no need to form such a...
God, of course it does.
The Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol, it acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they...
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable author.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then? He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you.
In other words, the committee only knows what it...
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Reva. And listening! It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio. I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers.
The Bristol Moon Conventions are a series of international agreements governing the treatment of military personnel. and civilians in theaters of war, as
This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any but in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it. Unfortunately not, no. I don't have the...
Sounds like something that programmer we met in the church might be able to help.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something. Always my pleasure to be of assistance. Always my pleasure.
Yes, what is it? Do I look like someone who has time for side projects at this moment?
if you want her help, maybe you should help her first.
You told them to leave? Didn't think the cops in this place had it in them. The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more because it's just trial. If you could bring me the offside copy, then it would help. A lot. Great. Thanks. Nope. Yes. No. You're right. I'm not. What? No.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
I brought them here. These are great. The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Because it's just trial and error. If you could bring me the offside copy, then it would help. A lot.
Muy bien, yo la tengo. ¿Qué hago?
Great.
¿Cómo se lo
Thanks.
doy?
Yes, what is it? You told them to leave? Didn't think the cops in this place. You told them to leave? Nope. Yes. And? No. You're right. I'm not. What?
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. So you do know something about... No, I... Besides...
No, actually, It is.
I know a friend. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as Reims Civic. I'm working.
The machine seems.
Could you... Great. The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Great. Thanks.
Yes?
Yes, what is it?
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
The Coppernado is back. What do you want?
Starting once the word sitting across. He spent and then the M in the far corner. Size in the in conclusion. Exactly. But not.
What have you found? And also, do buy a novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of...
The narrative she's built herself. It does. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Too many inconsistencies.
Good luck persuading her. Some people can rationalize anything.
Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been feeding the... I see that you've fallen for her manipulate. Thank you for nothing. Please, do buy some books, or be on your way.
There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am. Can we go now?
The note is written with a blue.
El otro día vi que si dejas quietos a estos dos, empiezan a jugar entre ellos. Vamos a dejarlos. Pues no hace nada espectacular. Bueno, ya me desesperaron.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffiti. The box seems happy. The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. The faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusion. They look pretty ancient.
Where? There? Those are old. Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law. Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves damn that girl.
And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under pressure.
Bullet? You didn't put it there, did you? She did.
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant, and not a stupid one either. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. We welcome all. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself in?
That's for the police to find out. Right there. Please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few.
Yes, early with the dogs. Around 8.
She probably heard the lieutenant's Kanema drive by, and it woke her up, just like it did you.
Yes. That is a downside of having a 130 kilowatt engine. It lets the bad guys know when you are coming.
I cleaned it, like I always do. No,
The truth, sire.
she's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation.
Did she talk to you much during her last stay?
No, she was mostly silent this time, kept to herself. She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she moved. How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun. Nothing of the sort. Sure, she was no stranger to the bottle. She fit in that way. But I only knew her to have a beer or she isn't what you'd call a drunk. Even offered me some from time to time. Said it was part of the communal life. But I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat.
It's a peninsula. She might be trapped.
You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just a
I wouldn't worry about that, man. We are persistent.
Are you sure you would rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire going in the heater?
The felled electric neuron. You feel like you should go look at it again. Step closer this time.
What more do you want to know about that poor girl? Yes, let's hear those other questions. One thing, officer. If you do find her, please go easy on her. She's a good girl, whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over.
What is this place to you?
Waves crash onto the beach. This could have been you. This could still be you. A down on his luck nobody, trying to survive. Outside, the howl of the wind has picked.
Revache.
On the table, you see a bowl of water. An old mirror hangs on the wall. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the...
Tequila sunset. Tequila... my jacket?
A look of consternation crosses the man's face.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila? Falm? That's medium concept stuff, not my style at all. I can't believe I'm saying this, but...
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his... I'm calling it. It's neurological.
You know what? Fine. Maybe I can pawn it for some booze.
Aye, good thinking.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench.
You can revisit the bench.
There's nothing else to do.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes, keep saving that.
Fuck, does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't fuck. Kuno care?
He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too.
No! You told him the city and fuck.
Explain himself, as if, stop denying it. You want our...
Kuno doesn't.
Me parece que aquí le voy a dejar por hoy.